Good morning, everyone. It's almost noon here on the 5th of November. Mark's been reading through the book of Matthew today. He's going to read Matthew 26, which is obviously the account of the Last Supper, but there's a lot more here than just that. This is when the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people consulted together that they might take Jesus and kill him. And the people contested that they didn't want that to happen on the feast day because there'd be an uproar among the people. Also, this is where a woman took the alabaster box and poured it on his head, and Christ told him the poor they always have with him. And he said this would be a memorial of her, what she did. And this is also the chapter where we see that Judas betrayed Christ for 30 pieces of silver. And this is where Christ told him to go and prepare the Passover. And he told him that one of them was going to betray him, and he said the one that dips his hand with me in the dish will betray me. Of course, that was Judas. And then they have the Passover. And Christ says, all shall be offended because of me this night. I will smite the shepherd, the sheep of the flock will be scattered. And then he says, after I'm risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. So he tells me he's going to rise again from the dead. And then, of course, Peter said he would never betray Christ. And Christ told Peter that night he would, before the cock crew, he would deny him 3 times. And then we also see they went into the Garden of Gethsemane, and the 3 kept falling asleep. And then we find that Judas comes and betrays him with a kiss. And Peter pulls out his sword and cuts off the chief of the high priest's servant of the high priest's ear. And Jesus Christ healed his ear and put it back in place. And Christ tells him, though that take up the sword shall perish with the sword. And then also we find that Christ tells him, the high priest wants him to admit that he says that he's the Son of God. And Christ says, hereafter ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of the power and coming in the clouds of heaven. And that was all they could handle, and they charged him with blasphemy and so on. And that Peter denied Christ, and he heard the cock crew, and he remembered the words of Jesus. So I'll turn this over to Mark. This is a rather lengthy chapter. It's 75 verses. I'll have Mark read this chapter, and I hope you all have a blessed afternoon on this election day. And I would encourage all that hear this to listen to the devotional this morning entitled My Thoughts on Election Day.
Matthew chapter 26. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days the feast of the Passover, the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes, the elders of the people, in the palace the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of her precious ointment, and poureth on his head as he sat at meat. And when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? This ointment might have been sold for such and given to the poor. Jesus understood it. He said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have always. For in that she had poured this ointment on my body, she did for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this woman have be told for memorial of her. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and saith unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? They coveted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The Master saith, My time is near at time. High time, I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciple. And the disciples did as Jesus hath appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been yet born. Then Jesus, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He saith unto them, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it, and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and gave thanks, and gave to them, saying, Drink ye all of it. This is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth this fruit of the vine, until that day when you drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Then said Jesus unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after this I am risen again, I will go before you into Gentiles into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, this night before the cock crow thou shalt deny me thrice. Peter said unto him, Though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gerashima, and said unto the disciples, Sit ye here while I go and pray further. And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. That saith he unto my soul, exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not yet as I will, but as thou wilt send me. And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them, and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and said unto them, Sleep ye on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is yet at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed in the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Jesus, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that tradeth him gave him a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, the same is he, hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Jesus, and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they, and laid their hands on him, and took him. And behold, one of them, which were Jesus, stretched out his right hand, and drew his sword, and struck the servant of the high priest, and smote off part of his ear. Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into his mouth, for they all that have the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled? And thus it must be now. In that same hour said Jesus to the multitudes, Are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? For I sat daily with you preaching in the temple, and you laid no hold on me. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled, that all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scriptures and the elders were assembled. But Jesus followed him far off into the high priest place, and went in and sat with the disciples to see their end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Jesus to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, This fellow came, I am able to destroy the temple of God, to build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? Jesus held his peace, and the high priest answered and said to him, I adjure thee by the living God, thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said. Nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, Ye have spoken blasphemy. What further have we of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard the blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palm of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Christ, who is he that smote thee? Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out of the porch, another maid saw him, and said to them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again, he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Sure thou art one of them, for thy speech betrayeth thee. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. Immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crew, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly.
Well, that's quite a rendition of not only the betrayal of Judas, but also the denial of Peter, and also the story of the Passover. The good Lord be with you today is my prayer.